Joined now by top featherweight Josh Emmett. Let's put him up here on Skype. There he is. Look at that. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Luke?
I'm doing quite well. You know, you got a couple of scuffs there on the face, but you have a nice, clean smile. You must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, feeling great. I have just a little black eye and a few little cuts, but nothing major.
All right, man. Let's just get this out in the open. How on earth is it possible for a knockout like that you didn't get a bonus? I'll be honest. When you knocked him down and he went, it reminded me of the Edson Barboza knockout of Terry Edom, where he went down like a wooden mannequin. I was like, he is a guaranteed lock to get a bonus, and it didn't happen. What happened, man?
Man, I thought the exact same thing. As soon as I hit him and it went down like that, um, I told Uriah, Danny, and Joey in the corner, I was like, finally, I'm getting a bonus. You know, I thought it was a shoe-in for sure. And then I'm going backstage, and of course, the the Branch fight went down, and he got submitted, but that's okay. And then Gaethje, I figured there'd be some type of bonus in the main event, and Gaethje got a nice TKO or knockout, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm like, for sure, I have to get one. And all the UFC staff, everybody was like, "You're getting the bonus. Have you got your bonus yet?" And then Danny pulled it up on his phone, and it didn't go to me. And I was like, I thought he was joking. I was like, "There's no way." And that was the case. So I don't know what I have to do. I feel like, what more can I do to get a performance bonus? But I'm just super disappointed with that.
Um, that would, let me be honest. That's a little weird that UFC staff would kind of say something like that without knowing, right?
No, it's just like people that I know, in the back. They've said it before, like, "Oh, you're getting the bonus for sure." Just kind of some of the people that I'm a little like closer with and things like that. But nothing like set in stone or anything.
Okay. Typically, it's what, the matchmakers who decide this? Like, how is your relationship with the matchmakers?
Um, I'm cool with everybody. I don't really have much contact with them besides just when I see them fight week or at the weigh-ins, and just kind of shake their hand, say hi, and things like that. But yeah, it's usually Dana White. I want to say Mick, Sean, and Reed, right? And they kind of vote unanimously.
Yeah.
That's just what I've thought. So I'm not exactly how it goes down, but
Do you feel like you have to glad hand with them? You know what I mean? To like, lobbying does work, right?
no, of course, yeah, it works for sure. And I know some of them are maybe a little tighter or closer to certain people's managers and things like that. So I know every time there's a great performance or big finishes, I know those managers are in their ears. But from a knockout like that, people were telling me it's one of the best knockouts so far this year.
Oh yeah.
And it's don't get me wrong, it's the Masvidal knockout was great, the Pettis knockout, the Gaethje knockout, but those, they still had to follow up. I landed one punch, and it was like the Lamas knockout. It was just one punch. I knew it was over. Just walk off home run.
When you landed it, did it feel super clean?
Yeah, exactly. It landed, and I just knew. I hit him, and I just saw him falling backwards, and yeah, I wasn't going to follow up with any more unnecessary blows. I knew he was out as he was falling down.
Now, I know you didn't get the bonus, which I want to circle back to in just a minute, but you have to feel pretty good on one level about the year you've had coming back. And, Michael Johnson is a credentialed, well-respected opponent. That's about as nice of a win as you're going to get over a guy like that. You have to feel pretty good about that, yeah?
I felt great about the performance, about the matchup. That's the reason why I wanted that fight. I want to fight people in front of me, of course, or bigger names. And Michael Johnson's name was thrown out there. He's a veteran. He's fought the best, beat the best. He's never been knocked out like that either. And I've given a few opponents their first knockout losses, but I knew how much of a following he has, and just how good he is. And I wanted to truly test myself. I felt like I started a little slower, but even with that, I felt like I won the first round. The second round, I gave it to him, and then my coaches said, "You need to just have a big third round." go out there and just let it go. I was being a little more cautious just because I've seen things that he's done. I didn't want to, rush into anything and get caught with um, just anything unsurprising and be on his highlight reel. So I know that I can finish the fight anytime. I know he could finish the fight anytime. And there was a lot of respect in there as far as, because normally I'm just like in the mix. I'm pressuring people and I'm just throwing a lot of big blows. I had to really, step back a little bit and pick my shots and just be way more cautious than I typically am. And I knew it would come eventually.
How fast was he?
um, and this is the thing I was talking to my coaches about. I give all my opponents, they feel like too much respect just because I watch all their fights. Some people have fought some of my teammates, but I really do not know how fast, how hard they hit, how strong they're going to be until I physically get in there. I get little advice from teammates and coaches that have fought him, and I knew he's really fast. I knew he's powerful, but honestly, as I got in there, it was not as fast or as powerful as I thought it would be, and that tends to happen quite a bit.
All right, I've been covering the sport quite some time. It used to be the case, and I know it's dwindled over time, but it used to be the case where if you didn't get a performance bonus, you would get something like a locker room bonus, and these would not necessarily be substantial sums of money, 5, 10K, sometimes more, but let's say roughly in that range. Did you for this fight, or have you ever gotten anything like a locker room bonus?
I haven't got anything yet, but I haven't got paid yet. But I know I'll probably get paid today, Monday or Tuesday. And yes, I have got locker room bonuses, but nothing like 5,000 even. I think the biggest one I typically have got was like $2,000-3,000. So I know they used to be bigger, like you're talking about 5 to 10, but I think they're a significantly smaller amount now.
Um, Sort of a separate, larger question. Do you think fighter pay is? How would you classify the issue of fighter pay? A problem, could be better, about what it should be. Where are you on that spectrum?
Yeah, it could definitely be better. I feel like we're the it doesn't get much higher. It's like we're the MLB or the NFL of mixed martial arts. I feel like there should be. It's just too all over the place. There's people that come in and their first fight's 10-10, and then you're, of course, champions and people at the very top are getting paid a significantly bigger sum of money. Even with the win and show bonuses, I feel like it should be just a flat fee. You know what I mean? Because no one's trying to fight any harder, trying to get that win bonus. I'm trying to go out there and finish the fight with every strike I throw. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to finish the fight. I'm trying to win the fight. You're not thinking like, oh man, I gotta pick it up because I really need that win bonus. I'm trying. So it would be nice to get paid just flat fees, but larger sums of money.
Like, what has to happen before you can get that? I've seen certain fighters get it, and they're usually a little more senior. I think Gilbert Melendez, for example, I think he either does or used to, get just a flat rate. I think Overeem might get a flat rate. There's a handful of them out there. Like, what does a guy got to do to get a flat rate?
Man, I'm not sure. I think it goes into how popular they are, and of course the management side, and just a lot of things kind of play into that. But I definitely think MMA fighters need or some type of security. Whether I know we just recently got insurance, I want to believe, but it's a big deductible if you were to get injured outside of uh, the fight. And just like what happened with me, I fought in 2018 in February. I fought one time. I had significant injuries, so I only got paid half a check in 2018, and it was a tough year for my wife and I financially. So if there was you know, some type of pay, whether it be, monthly stipend or something, that would have definitely helped.
Um, does your you don't have to tell me what she does or anything else, but does your wife work? Is she employed?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
she is.
that was there was something to be said for that during this past what I'm sure was a very difficult year. At least something there, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, she definitely, she had to basically support us. But no, I got paid, a decent amount, but not for the injuries I sustained. And
Right.
so it was just tough getting by, for going 13 months without me making a paycheck. Um, yeah, it was tough. And it's not like I can go. I was doing little jobs helping some buddies that, or project managers and stuff like that, doing errands just to make a little extra cash. I had to sell some things. I was doing, personals here and there. But yeah, it's tough. I couldn't go get another job because then what? I'm going to work full time. I can't train. And then when I get a fight, what am I going to do? Put in my 2 weeks? That's not me. So it puts you in a weird, like a tough situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I like, for example, Gordon Ryan, one of the best. He did the Team Alpha Male thing for Quintet. He's all banged up, but he's
Yeah.
out there doing seminars constantly and making big cash. It's like, okay, that makes sense, right? Because even if you were
Yeah.
pro jujitsu, IBJJF doesn't pay you hardly anything, so that's really how you make your money elsewhere. But for you guys, the more extracurricular activities you take, the more it affects the thing you're trying to get back to. What are other teammates? Did they have any advice about what to do?
I don't. It's like a lot of the bigger name guys. They have, like their businesses going on. Like Chad has Fins and Feathers. Uriah does a lot of things. Just outside of the sport, and that's something that I'm trying to establish. I would like to, I used to have a CrossFit gym. But we closed that down a little while ago. But other than that, like if there's other business ventures or anything like that where I could make some extra cash, that would be awesome. And that's one of the things that I did do while I had this long-term layoff was I was working with my doctor and nutritionist, and when we formulated and developed this supplement that we just launched. It's on my website, and
What's the name? What's the name of it?
Powerful supplement. It's called Mastermind. It's on joshemmett.com. It's I always want to do a supplement line, and that was creatines, protein, stuff like that. But it's so saturated, I can't compete with that. So during this process, he had me taking a lot of different ingredients and supplements to get what we put into this one powerful supplement. So instead of me taking a basket of things, I'm just taking 3 capsules a day, and it's phenomenal. I've been taking it for 3-4 months, and I feel like that's one of the reasons that got me back into training and back to fighting. I credit a lot to that.
So that's interesting. By the way, I saw you fight in the UFC. We got to get you back plugging that thing on Mark Bell's Powercast or whatever he's calling it these days. That'd be a nice plug for you right in the industry. But so what's in it? Like what? Citrulline, malate, creatine. What's all in this thing?
Yeah, there's a lot of like acetylcholine. There's a lot of things. So it's a 4-in-1. It's a brain booster, so it decreases stress, increases mood. It's energy enhancer, so it's sustained energy throughout the day. It's not like you don't have these highs and lows with these big stimulants. It's an anti-inflammatory agent, so not only just anti-inflammatory for the brain, but the entire body and joints. And it has a lot of ingredients in there for recovery. And so I swear when I take it's like laser focus. I'm just like, I don't know. It's tough to explain. I feel great, and even because I'm partnered up with my doctor and stuff, not being biased. It is, if you look at the ingredients, it's just powerful ingredients. We have like 16 ingredients in there, and it's every time people are looking at, they're like, man, this is great. It's something we didn't want to put a few things in there and then people buy it, one time and be like, oh, this is crap, and never do it again. So we spent some money putting some expensive ingredients in there, hoping that they take it, they enjoy it, and they continue to buy it.
All right. Well, I hope some folks pick it up. Let's talk about the rest of your year, because if you can't get a bonus, the best thing to do otherwise is to stay healthy and then just get back out there again. Now, I know I read a story that Beto Komodo did on you. You still can't feel the left side of your gums, as I understand it, but you did get licensed for this fight. You are allowed to compete. So from a health standpoint, how ready are you for a turnaround? Is there any concern there, given some of the lingering health issues?
No, I feel great, and that's one thing. I always want to stay as active as possible. As long as I'm healthy, I want to get in there and fight 3-4 times a year. And after this fight, I feel great. Like I said, it took me a little bit to get going. I've been out for 13 months, so I felt like my timing and everything, I don't know, was a little off, but I felt like I just started to open up after like the second and third round, really just kind of just let it go. So yeah, I want to turn around and fight maybe International Fight Week. I've never fought in Vegas. I want to fight in Vegas just so it's close to California. I'd have so many people out there, and it's a huge event, so that would be awesome. unless something popped up in June. But I want to get at least 2 more fights in this year.
Yeah. Where do you think you sit in the division after a huge win like that? I mean, bonus, not bonus, put that out of the side. Dude, that was a killer
Oh
win,
yeah, yeah.
man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, and that's why I wanted to fight Michael Johnson. You know, I got offered someone in front of me. I took it. He got injured, so that didn't go down. But then they threw out Michael Johnson's name, and I took it because he is one of the best. And I figured a big win over him and something like that, a big finish, of course, let alone just a great performance, would put me kind of right back in the mix where I left off. And so definitely I'll be fighting someone in front of me in my next fight, hopefully. And yeah, I feel like with the division and injuries and everything that's going on, you never know in this sport what can happen. And I could possibly be 1, 2, maybe 3 fights away from a title shot, if everything continues to go well.
Well, you know what? I know. I'm glad to talk under these circumstances because you won. I wish it was really, really, really good circumstances with the bonus. But dude, keep your head up, man. I dropped my dishes in the living room when I saw you land that punch. I was so taken aback by it. That was a thunderous KO, and it shows you're a force to be reckoned with in this division. I hope you get a chance to go back out there and show that again. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke. You have a good one.